Now on CoastTV News.
It's a mild start to our Halloween. Temperatures beginning in the 60s this morning. One of the warmest Halloweens on record. Details on that. Plus, we did tie the record for driest periods in Delaware. Details coming up.
Rain, come this way. Growing concerns across Delmarva as we continue to experience a drought.
A shocking sign. This is what people saw in Sussex County. We have the controversy involving one of Delaware's transgender candidates for the House of Representatives.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
LA winning night. The dominating effort that produced a World Series championship for the Dodgers.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we continue with our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paige Marley. It's Thursday, October 31st, 2024.
And we just saw Paige, the Dodgers are World Series champs. Baseball season now over, so your Nationals gearing up for 2025. Bob's Mets, same thing. Yep.
This is a real story. I haven't told you this. This morning, I was talking to somebody who lives and works in Milton, no one here, and they said, I'm a Phillies fan, but I went to a Nats game, and they said it was so fun. They like the Nats now.
No names, please.
No names, please. They don't work here. No one in this room.
Okay.
But just saying, so it can happen.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
yes,
you do.
I do.
But I can't put them on blast because Phillies fans will get very upset.
You know how they are.
But I'm just saying, the proof is in the pudding. So.
But we have a friendly Met fan with us right now, too.
And Mets fans are not as sad this morning because they took 2 from the Dodgers and the Yankees took 1 game from the Dodgers. It's the little victories that are important, right? All right. We're looking at a warm start to our Halloween this morning. 60 in Salisbury, 61 in Delmar, 63 in Seaford, and 60s at the beaches as well with a southwest breeze. So just a light jacket out the door. We're looking at clear skies. And with the breeze, not looking at any fog. We've got plenty of clear skies all across Delmarva. Building ridge of high pressure. That's sinking air, and it will be a warm day with high pressure. You can see these orange arrows pointing in out of the southwest. We're looking at near record highs as we go into this afternoon. We're looking at 60s this morning out the door. The breeze is picking up throughout the day, mid-morning, mid to upper 60s. Then we're shooting into the upper 70s by noon, even 70s at the beaches. By 2:30, kids are getting off the buses, excited to put on their costumes, 70s to around 80 degrees. Then we're getting into trick-or-treating time, breezy. We do have elevated fire danger, but very mild as we go through the evening hours for the ghosts and goblins. And if you're out on the boardwalk today, looking at temperatures in the 60s, eventually into the 70s later this morning, but it will be breezy as we go through your Halloween.
Thank you, Bob. And, as we've been talking about all week, actually for more than a week, it's been a long time since we've had some rain, and the situation has led to burn bans both in Maryland and Delaware. Yeah, now CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in Milford. Elisa, this drought is also affecting local businesses.
Matt and Paige, I'm currently at a farm here in Milford, and as you can see, there's a lot of pumpkins and produce around me. So being by pumpkins, it's a good thing on Halloween, but not a good thing is the fact that we have not received rain, measurable rain, in 34 days. And today we actually tied the record for the longest dry period that we've experienced since 1945. And due to those dry conditions, a burn ban is in place over concerns over fire hazards, in addition to the strong winds that we've been having. And that ban has now expanded to the sale and the use of fireworks. While rain can ruin your outdoor activities, this drought has severely impacted the agricultural industry in Sussex County. Later on, we're actually going to hear from a farmer about what it's like to run his farm during a drought. Back to you.
Thank you for that. And we are now seeing some additional action by Delaware officials. Governor John Carney issued a statewide drought watch asking people to be mindful of their water use. In Rehoboth Beach, the city says it has turned off all irrigation. According to the Water Department Supervisor Robert Downs, the city is aiming to be safe rather than sorry. It doesn't want to reach the point of running out of water, so that is why they are taking these steps ahead of time.
New this morning, District 36 in Sussex County, which includes Lincoln, Ellendale, the south half of Milford and Slaughter Beach. And running for re-election there is Brian Shoup, the Republican candidate who's been in that seat since 2018. Now against the Democratic candidate, Ronnie Baltazar Lopez, who he's the youngest and the first Latino member ever to be elected to the Milford School District Board. Campaign funding, however, during all of this has been an issue in this race.
the same narrative that the developers have of why I'm against development, and that's because, you know, it's in my backyard. And I know that he's working with the developers because it's that same narrative continued again. And the real reason I'm against this development is because these developers not only have abused our neighbors in the past, and I've helped them.
My values are unwavering, and if Representative Shoup wants to attack me on those merits, then he should do something about holding developers accountable instead of trying to attack me on something that I'm not the representative for.
Now, earlier this month, the candidates held a town hall where they addressed voter questions about their campaigns, persuading voters with less than a week before the election.
Happening today, in fact, less than 1 hour from now, early voting locations in Maryland will open for the final day. According to NBC News, over 1.3 million mail-in and early ballots have been cast so far in the state. Early voting opens at 7 this morning, closes tonight at 8. In Worcester County, there is only one site. That is the Powell Convention Center. We do have a full list of Eastern Shore early voting locations that can be found on the CoastTV News app and website. One hateful sign. It is leading to backlash from an entire community. Sarah McBride, a transgender woman running for Congress, has a chance to be the first ever openly transgender person to be elected for that position. And the sign has gotten people in Sussex County talking.
There's an amendment that says there can be no discrimination on the basis of sex. And that's the law of the land, and that's it. It's irrelevant. It's like the color of her hair or something, you know.
And CoastTV did reach out to the McBride campaign about those signs. They declined to comment. Now, McBride is from Wilmington. She's currently a state senator. She was elected to the Delaware Senate in 2020, and she served as a national spokesperson for the Human Rights Campaign.
And all of this brings us to our CoastTV poll. We want to know, how do political signs influence your vote?
Well, Paige, look at this here.
Yeah.
Most people voting in our poll say not at all, no influence, and
Yeah.
then you just have a couple people chiming in slightly, significantly. Depends on the message.
Okay.
I think, they don't have a big impact, but maybe subconsciously you keep seeing the sign.
I think that's a
Something
good
could
point.
seep in.
Yeah, the name just sticks in your head. All right, well, if you haven't voted yet, you still can. Go to coasttv.com, or you can always vote on our app. And don't forget also, make sure to keep tuning in to Coast TV for our preview week coverage. We'll continue to be airing exclusive candidate interviews that focus on races that impact us here on Delmarva.
Let's go to the big race nationally.
Yeah.
5 days ago to the election, the campaign sprint is reaching top speed. Former President Trump, Vice President Harris are heading out west today. Looks like they're going to pull out all the stops with political stars and celebrity to get out the vote.
Yeah, NBC's Alice Barr shows us now how the two candidates are just trying to rake in some last-minute supporters.
The presidential nominees making a battleground blitz across the Southwest today after both holding big events in Wisconsin.
We're going to bring back our country.
Are we ready to win?
In this final stretch, Vice President Harris centering reproductive rights as part of a larger fight for freedoms.
The government shouldn't be telling her what to do with her body. Not the government.
As former President Trump again said he wants to protect American women, noting that's despite advice from his advisors.
Well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
The former president wearing a safety vest after posing in a garbage truck. The latest salvo in a controversy stemming from a comedian at the Trump Madison Square Garden rally calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage, prompting this from President Biden.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
You can't lead America if you don't love Americans.
President Biden and the White House clarifying that he was only referring to the comedian. Vice President Harris quickly distancing herself.
I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. I will be a president for all Americans, whether you vote for me or not.
Democrats pointing to a track record of inflammatory rhetoric from former President Trump, including this against Democrats this week.
This is a sick group of people, I'm telling you, and there's a great evil.
A war of words with 5 days to go. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Happening now, Delaware Senators Tom Carper and Chris Coons are leading the charge on a bipartisan effort for the Biden administration to issue more H-2B visas. It's in an effort to combat seasonal staffing shortages. The two senators, along with 38 of their colleagues, sent a letter to the Department of Homeland Security asking that the maximum allowable numbers of H-2B visas be released for fiscal year 2025. The goal, according to that letter, is to help small businesses meet their workforce needs.
And breaking overnight, Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series. They take Game 5 at Yankee Stadium. It was actually New York that jumped out to a 5-0 lead. But this eighth-inning sacrifice fly by Mookie Betts brought home Tommy Edman with the eventual game-winning run. This is the 7th World Series title for the Dodgers since relocating to Los Angeles in 1958.
Happening today, get out your costumes. You can indulge in your sweet tooth a little bit because it's Halloween. Communities in Delaware and in Maryland are having trick-or-treating this evening. We're going to let you know about these times so you can prepare. So according to Delmarva, Maryland, their hours for trick-or-treating are from 6 to 8. In Berlin, it's 5 to 7. Salisbury officials say their hours are 5 to 8. And Snow Hill echoes those hours as well. Now in Delaware, Greenwood will hold a trunk-or-treat at United Methodist Church. That's from 6 to 8. Millsboro's Halloween night that runs from 6 to 8 at Town Hall, and grab your candy in Bridgeville and in Lewis as well from 6 to 8. And you can head to our website for that full list of events that's happening today.
The only BMX track in Delaware, it is here to stay. The city of Milford approved a 5-year lease with First State BMX. The nonprofit, located behind the high school, has more than 200 members and has many races throughout the year. Riders on the big track, they range from 3 years old to people in their mid-60s.
Very cool. Okay, well, we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Coming up, regulating rentals, the debate in Ocean City over short-term rentals and why one landlord says new rules will have a negative impact.
And fighting off the brush fires, how one expert says the current drought can impact possible brush fires, and we have an update on the burn ban.
This week's Coastal Connection, one of Lewis's heroes. It's a sad anniversary today as we look back at the pride brought to the Delaware coast as the 1960 space race was heating up. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
We're bringing bright hope to Delaware by creating opportunity. As Secretary of Labor, I focused on preparing the workforce of tomorrow. And in Congress, I've worked to strengthen career and technical education. Jobs that might not require a 4-year college degree, but do require skills. With jobs like these. Together, we can build the workforce of today and tomorrow. I'm Lisa Blunt Rochester, and I approve this message because our opportunities should be limitless.
18 years ago, we founded Community Bank Delaware with the goal of providing high-quality banking services to our local community. Here you meet with decision makers, people just like you who live in and love this community. We provide the newest banking technologies to our customers, supported by our local team of banking professionals. Our bank serves clients throughout Sussex County, and we continue to grow, all thanks to you. Community Bank Delaware, where community matters.
Hi, I'm Kim Hoey Stevenson, candidate for Delaware's 6th Senate District. I'm running to be a voice for our community and put people over politics. I'm committed to working in a bipartisan way to protect our open spaces, elevate our education system, and ensure government transparency. From clean water and fresh air to quality education and a thriving economy, we all want the best for coastal Sussex. I'm ready to work hard to make it happen. On Election Day, vote Kim Hoey Stevenson. Let's build a brighter future for coastal Sussex together. Paid for by friends for Kim Hoey Stevenson.
Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers, is looking for you to help stock the shelves at the Joseph House just in time for the holidays. The annual Joseph House Food Drive is Saturday, November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the parking lot of the Wicomico Civic Center. Please help by dropping off non-perishable food items for those in need. All food donations are accepted no matter your neighborhood. Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
There's a stretch of Route 9 in Lewis called Freeman Highway. You may know the road, but maybe not the story behind it. In today's Coastal Connections, we look at the 60th anniversary of the death of Ted Freeman, and as Matt Pensick shows us, he's one of our locals who almost became one of the few to walk on the moon.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour.
July 16th, 1969, Apollo 11 blasted off from Cape Kennedy in Florida, beginning one of the greatest journeys in all of history.
There is really nothing to say about it. What can you say about a site like that?
The moon landing 9 days later was the first of 6 such missions. Only 12 astronauts have walked on the moon. One very well could have been Lewis's Ted Freeman.
That was definitely the pathway. That was what his passage was to step on the moon.
There was an interview that Michael Cassatt did with Deke Slate, and he had asked him, if Freeman had not perished, would he have been selected for a flight? And there seemed to be the feeling, at least on his part, that he would have been named to an early flight, perhaps on Gemini, because he was one of the best and most skilled pilots in his class.
On October 31st, 1964, Freeman's pilot skills could not overcome a fluke encounter with a flock of geese. While flying in a T-38 Talon on his way to NASA's Houston Space Center, where Freeman was based, the jet hit the flock.
He had to make a decision about whether or not to eject, and he ejected too late, is what they concluded at that point. He died immediately upon impact. He was the first astronaut to perish. There was always this feeling that someone might die trying to get to the moon. But nobody thought it would be in an aircraft just outside of Ellington Air Force Base.
Freeman's death was a shock to the astronaut community and his family and friends in Lewis.
It was a terrible, terrible blow because we had been aware that he was being pointed out for great things.
Freeman's calling to the skies had its start near the waters of the Delaware coast.
We knew that he was interested in flying and would be down at the airport quite often. But he was just known, really, as quite a nice young man.
In 1963, nearly 10 years after serving as an Air Force pilot, Freeman was introduced to a nation with space fever as part of the 3rd ever astronaut class.
Captain Ted Freeman of the Air Force, stationed at Edwards Air Force Base, hometown Lewis, Delaware.
People are extremely interested. We don't have a lot of astronauts by that point. The term astronaut is a really special term. When people say that word, it's almost magical when you think about who this person is and what they're going to do.
Freeman died before Gemini's first manned mission. He died before man landed on the moon. And here in Lewis, his name lives on.
I think we're privileged to live in the era when man will do that of which he has dreamed for generations, for centuries even. It will be a privilege to take part in any capacity, particularly as a pilot.
Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and it could have easily been Ted Freeman, a name lost in astronaut history, but memorialized forever in the first state. For CoastTV News, I'm Matt Pensick.
This morning's weather forecast courtesy of Bass by Spicer Brothers, a Delmarva tradition for over 20 years.
As I get older, I was getting a little off balance. Got recommendations for Bass by Spicer Brothers. I love my shower. It's perfect for me. My favorite part was probably how quick and easy it was. They came in the morning and they were done by afternoon. I definitely wanted the grab bars. They also put the seat in, which was very nice. The wand is good, especially if you're sitting. So much safer to get in and out of now. It seems like my showers are quicker that way. So it's perfect.
PG County's full of corrupt politicians. Then there's Angela Also Brooks, a tax cheat for over a decade, skipped out on paying her bills. Now an investigative report shows Also Brooks operated in a legal rental property for 10 years. Did Also Brooks pay any taxes on her off-the-books slumlord scheme? What do you think? Prove it, Angela. Maryland deserves better. Maryland's Future is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When I asked for your vote 3.5 years ago to be your Sussex County councilman, I pledged to you that I would work aggressively to manage residential development in our community. I spearheaded an increased buffer ordinance, which is now law. During my 3.5 years on county council, I have also been actively involved in saving almost 2,000 acres of land in our community, which will never be developed. I ask for your vote on November 5th so I can continue the fight.
The weather is brought to you by Spicer Brothers Construction.
Born here to serve here. As the season changes, temperatures drop and the leaves begin to fall, but the savings at Spicer Brothers are still hot. Now is the perfect time to tackle your home improvement projects with unbeatable savings. Right now, save 30% on a complete roofing system, plus get 50% off gutter helmet installation. At Spicer Brothers, excellence is our standard. We use only top quality materials and expert craftsmanship, ensuring each project is built to last a lifetime.
Call today and schedule your free in-home consultation because you deserve the best.
Time is 6:21, and you are looking live at Salisbury. Bright lights there. Bob, later tonight, no jacket required for Halloween.
I see the Phil Collins reference there, Matt. Very good. Yes. It's so nice that the kiddos can show off the costumes, don't have to layer up and pile on the clothes because it will be so warm. We're looking at near record warmth on this Halloween. I'm going with a high of 81, and we hit 81 back in 1946, 1950, and 2019. And then we have other dates, too, where it was warm. 80 in 2004, then 78, several dates there as well. So we've had several warm Halloweens, and then this one is just another one that could be in the record books. Wickedly warm for the kiddos this evening. In the 70s, it will be breezy as well, and temperatures later on into the 60s. The flip side of that is that our drought continues now 34 days. No measurable rain for the month of October, and we have tied 34 days. That was number one on the top 5 driest periods. So there it is from 2001. That one falls today. So we'll be in first place alone tomorrow with 35 days. We're looking at temperatures out the door in the 60s right now. Rehoboth and Bethany Beach 65, Georgetown 63, and it's a mild breeze from the southwest. That will pick up. We're going to elevate the fire danger later today. We've got burn bans, so really things haven't changed all that much as we have high pressure building in, clear skies, and that building ridge is sinking air, and that's compressed, and that's very warm air as we have this southwesterly flow. There is some bad weather across the nation's midsection, severe weather there across the Midwest. This front will weaken as it heads our way. I don't think we're looking at moisture. And then behind this front, it's much cooler air. In fact, it's snowing right now in Minnesota. We're not going to see that, but some of that cooler air by this weekend as we warm up dramatically on your Halloween by noon into the upper 70s, around 80 in Long Neck, later on 79 in Georgetown. If it hits 81, that will tie a record. 70s at the beaches, warm for the trick-or-treaters this evening with 70s, very mild overnight. And then moving into your Friday morning, look at this, breezy, temperatures into the upper 60s, and we're looking at temperatures right around 80 degrees again. But tomorrow there's that cold front with clouds, maybe a sprinkle. Doubt we're looking at measurable rain. And then we start to get breezy as we go into Saturday morning, and it's chilly, 40s and 50s. So the chill is back this weekend, and by Saturday afternoon, we're only into the 60s. But once again, higher fire danger with the gusty winds out of the southwest, up to 30 miles per hour even in the morning hours. And then those winds shift as we see a cold front coming through, and then it's a chilly northerly wind into your Saturday, and then it's a dry weekend as we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds. And then by Election Day right now, looking dry and mild, and temperatures once again into the 70s. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, lower 80s today and tomorrow. And then for the weekend, much cooler 60s. Clocks go back 1 hour Sunday morning, and then we're looking at 71 on Monday. By Election Day, we're looking dry and breezy, 78 degrees, 79 Wednesday, and still pretty dry.
Yeah, you just heard it from Bob. We will have a dry day again today, and we are now in a situation of concern over potential brush fires. It is day 33 without measurable rain, and it's been 15 days since the Delaware State Fire Marshal issued a burn ban. The colorful leaves on the ground, they look nice. Dry crops can easily, though, become a brush fire with one wrong move, and that is why Assistant State Fire Marshal says not to take the burn ban lightly.
We don't put burn bans in that often, and it's just really necessary at this point.
Says the dry conditions can turn a 1 acre fire into anywhere from 10 to 100 acres. Until there's rain, there are no plans to lift this burn ban. Up next on Coast TV News Today, regulating rentals will tell you what changes to Ocean City that are being considered to its short-term rentals. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the Brush Factory. Explore our over 60 local merchants and artists all together under one roof. You just never know what you'll find at the Brush Factory on Kings. As always, we greatly appreciate your support.
We couldn't do it without you.
My dad, Mike Ramone, is a different kind of public servant. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. But I know from my own experience how much he cares about everyone. He's a great father and grandfather. You can see how much their futures matter to him. And he has the same passion for your kids' future. He's focused on fixing our schools and getting teachers and students the resources they need. What I can promise is he'll be a great governor for all of Delaware.
In 1925, a simple bank ledger began journaling the transactions of life in Willards, Maryland. New houses, barns, and farm equipment. Growing families and businesses both big and small. A record through time of hardship and prosperity. 100 years ago, the founding of the Farmers Bank of Willards was vital to the town. 100 years later, banking has changed, but the Farmers Bank remains steadfast in its original mission, keeping and reinvesting millions of dollars right here for the benefit of our communities.
Hello everyone, my name is Emma Ludwicki. I'm Paige Ludwicki. And our stepdad, Mike Simpler, is running for the 14th District State Representative of Delaware. We believe that Mike will help to preserve the coastal Sussex County we all know and love.
Mike has always been the kind of person who puts others first.
He's tirelessly served as president of the fire department.
He understands the real issues people face here, and he's got practical ideas to help solve them. He's not just a great stepdad, he's one of the best people I know. Join us in supporting Mike Simpler for State Representative of the 14th District. Thank you.
Short-term rentals are increasing in Ocean City. Over the last 2 years, over 200 rental licenses have been handed out in the town. With no end in sight, the Ocean City Council is looking to add some new regulations. Those would include a minimum length of stay of at least 5 to 7 days. This is for short-term rentals that are single-family homes and manufactured housing. Some like the proposed rule, but others don't. One landlord says it would actually hurt his business.
Everybody comes down for 3 to 4 days. That's what they come to Ocean City for. They don't come for a week anymore because they can't. It's gotten bad.
Now, with people split on these changes, the Ocean City Planning Committee decided to push this to a public hearing.
We're joined again by First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey. Bob, I think earlier you were tracking some waves. We do have a nice day along the coast. I don't know if it's a nice one to go swimming.
And that water temperature now is getting into the low 60s, so it's a little chilly to swim. And for the boaters, that water is going to get pretty choppy as the winds pick up throughout the day. Chincoteague and Assateague, we're in the 60s early on, and then you're topping out in the low 70s with lots of sunshine. Have the sunscreen handy. UV index is moderate. Fenwick Island and Ocean City, you too are in the 70s, waves around 2 to 4 feet. 3-day forecast on the Bayside, lower 80s for Halloween in Cambridge tomorrow as well. Big cool down for Saturday, 64. And for Crisfield, you're in the 70s, but then cool and windy and staying dry through the weekend. Much more on your Halloween forecast and the continued drought conditions in the next half hour.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Also coming up after the break, our preview 2024 coverage continues today. We're looking into another district race in Sussex County. We're going to tell you what you need to know about each candidate in the race.
Coastal water conservation, what new steps Rehoboth Beach officials are taking to prevent running out of water.
And we've been talking about it. The dangerous drought continues along our coast. We're going to tell you how one farmer says these conditions are impacting pricing for produce. CoastTV News will be right back.
For over 50 years, our mission at Herker Property Maintenance has been very clear. Deliver exceptional curb appeal to neighborhoods, businesses, and property management. Our team of highly trained professionals are committed to making your properties look attractive, clean, and professional, limiting your risk of issues arising. From landscaping to full-service exterior maintenance, Herker's your one-stop solution. Send your RFP to Herker Property Maintenance now and discover how Herker can save you thousands and elevate your property curb appeal.
As temperatures drop, FH Fur invites you to be part of something truly heartwarming, our Fall into Comfort Toy Drive. Through December 15th for only $29, the experts at FH Fur will perform a comprehensive heating system inspection, ensuring your home stays snug through the chilly months ahead. The best part? 100% of the proceeds will go to the United States Marine Corps Reserve's Toys for Tots. Schedule your heating inspection today with FH Fur.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
CoastTV.com.
And we're looking for our first house. We're growing a family. The Parker Group and our realtor, Jen, they were great. Helped us get our first home. That was a very smooth, easy process, especially for our first time. Family expanded a little bit more. We went right to the Parker Group because how easy it was the first time. And before we knew it, here we are in our next home and we love it.
Our experience with the Parker Group was seamless.
Our realtor and the Parker Group was almost like a family in a way. They were there for us when we needed them. That was a big thing.
100% we would go with the Parker Group again.
The American Heart Association invites you to join the Southern Delaware Heart Walk. It's time to unite, take action, and save lives. Every walker who joins, every dollar donated means more people trained in life-saving CPR, more research, and more life-saving moments for everyone. Join us at the Southern Delaware Heart Walk on November 3rd at the Rehoboth Beach Bandstand. Let's walk together to save lives. Register today at heart.org/SouthernDEWalk. Sponsored by CoastTV.
Now on Coast TV News.
It's a mild start to Halloween with temperatures in the 60s out the door this morning. It will be one of the warmest Halloweens on record. Details on that. Plus, we tied the record for driest periods in Delaware. All of that coming up.
Delmarva drought dilemma, how one farmer in Sussex County has been trying to keep his produce alive as we deal with 30-plus days without rain.
Early voting ending. That's what's happening today in Maryland. What you need to know if you want to cast your ballot in the state ahead of Tuesday's general election.
Costumes and candy, we get you ready for Halloween tonight, all over Delmarva.
This is Coast TV News Today.
October 31st, 2024. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Paige.
Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Paige Marley.
The time is 6:32, final day of October, and that means somebody is ready to amp up their Christmas game. You actually got green going on for Christmas.
I know.
Green, Paige.
Green. Well, I wore it because I thought it kind of looked witchy with the sleeves.
Oh, yeah.
But it might be a nod to Christmas.
All right.
Yeah, but I did ask my husband if we could put up the Christmas tree this weekend.
And he said, yes, dear, of course, whatever you want.
Well, he doesn't say no to me ever. So he did say yes, but I could see a little bit of yeah, if you want. So I think we're going to wait 1 or 2 more weekends.
Okay.
But it is almost that month where you can put your tree up.
It is your time of the year.
It is. This is where I thrive. You have what? There's like summertime is
Summer's
your time.
mine.
Yeah. Christmas time is my time to thrive. So, Bob, I know you said a little early as well, so I might wait a couple more weekends for the tree.
Yeah, well, it's up to you. We usually wait till Thanksgiving and after. That's usually the Christmas period. Santa's coming down the street in New York City, Thanksgiving Day parade, that kind of a thing. We are looking at, it doesn't feel like Christmas this morning. It doesn't even feel like Halloween. It feels more like, maybe August. 60 in Salisbury right now, 62 in Delmarva, out the door in Georgetown, 63. Mid-60s at the coast. We have a southwest breeze, and that will really warm us up as we go through the day, as we're looking at clear skies out the door and very warm conditions as high pressure is building in from the west. High pressure with sinking air, and we're looking at a southwest flow that will get us near record highs later this afternoon. We're quickly warming through the 60s this morning by noon, into the 70s by 2:30. The kids coming off the bus is excited to put on their Halloween costumes. 70s close to 80 in Long Neck, probably tying a record inland, and then breezy and mild for the trick-or-treaters this evening with a southwest wind. Temperatures slowly falling from the 70s into the 60s. So obviously don't need the ice scraper in today's checklist. Light jacket this morning, summer clothes this afternoon. Of course, the Halloween costumes too. Warm beverage out the door. Watch for the kids later today and this evening as they're trick-or-treating, and have the sunglasses too. It will be a lot of sunshine as we go through the day.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now, of course, we've been monitoring this drought extensively here on Coast TV, as well as learning how it's impacting the Delmarva community.
Yeah, Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber live in Milford. Lisa, this drought is having a big effect on local businesses.
Matt and Paige, I'm currently at a farm here in Milford. I've got a lot of pumpkins surrounding me, but we're experiencing 34 days without rain, which actually ties the record for the longest period of time we have not received any measurable rain. And the last time we experienced 34 days without rain was during October 17th to November 19th, 2001. And for the past 2 weeks, a burn ban has been in place in Delaware due to concerns over fires from these dry conditions, as well as due to the strong winds. And now that burn ban also applies to the selling and the use of fireworks. While rain can ruin your outdoor activities, this drought has severely impacted the agricultural industry in Sussex County. We spoke with one farmer to learn what it is like to be in the agricultural business during a drought.
Well, we've slowly increased our prices to cover a little bit of the surcharge of the fuel and all that, but some of our customers where we're buying material from, they've had to raise theirs, pretty substantially to cover their cost.
Blessing says that because it was dry and warm, crops actually grew sooner, so their season was shorter this year. Back to you.
Elisa, thank you so much. Now, to further all of this, of course, as we continue talking about the drought, to further it, officials in Rehoboth Beach are pushing locals to curb their water use as the drought continues. The city says it's turned off all its irrigation, and according to the Water Department Supervisor Robert Downs, the city is aiming to be better safe than sorry. It doesn't want to reach the point of running out of water, so it is taking these steps ahead of time.
Moving on this morning, we are now going to take a look at State House District 36 race in Delaware. This includes Lincoln, Ellendale, south half of Milford, and Slaughter Beach. And running for it, re-election is Brian Shoup, the Republican candidate who has been in this seat since 2018. He's going up against Democratic candidate Ronnie Baltazar Lopez, who is the youngest and first Latino member ever to be elected to the Milford School Board District.
Happening today, it's actually in just less than a half hour. Early voting locations in Maryland will open for the final day. According to NBC News, over 1.3 million mail-in and early ballots have been cast so far in the state. Early voting sites open at 7 this morning. They close tonight at 8. In Worcester County, there's only one site to vote early. It's the Powell Convention Center. But you can find a full list of Eastern Shore early voting locations on our CoastTV app and website.
Happening today, former President Trump and Vice President Harris are both heading west as their campaigns are in the final days. It is expected Harris will center on reproductive rights. Former President Trump again says he also wants to protect American women.
The government shouldn't be telling her what to do with her body. Not the government.
Well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
On Wednesday, Trump criticized President Biden for calling Trump supporters garbage. Harris also distanced herself from Biden's comments.
Happening today, it's time to get out your costumes and indulge that sweet tooth. It's Halloween, of course. Communities in Delaware and Maryland will be hosting trick-or-treating events this evening. So according to Delmarva, Maryland, their hours for trick-or-treating are from 6 to 8. In Berlin, it's 5 to 7. Salisbury officials say their hours are from 5 to 8. Snow Hill will echo those hours as well. Now in Delaware, Greenwood will hold a trunk or treat at United Methodist Church. That's from 6 to 8. Millsboro's Halloween Night Out runs from 6 to 8 at Town Hall, and you can grab candy in Bridgeville and in Lewis as well from 6 to 8.
Delaware Senators Tom Carper and Chris Coons are working to have the federal government issue more H-2B visas. This is in an effort to combat seasonal staffing shortages. The two senators, along with 38 of their colleagues, they sent a letter to the Department of Homeland Security asking that the maximum allowable number of H-2B visas be released for fiscal year 2025. And the goal here, according to the letter, is to help small businesses meet their workforce needs. Still more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, a scary situation in Dover. It's now over after police say the suspect surrendered, what they say led to a hostage situation.
State playoff field hockey underway in Delaware. The scoring surged that ended the season for Indian River.
And some devastating video from a roof collapse on Wednesday. We have the early details officials have confirmed. Stick with us on CoastTV News today.
It starts with our oldest family tradition, artisan bread, topped with the finest hand-sliced meats and cheeses. Add in the freshest locally grown produce, but don't forget the In our house, it's not just a hoagie, it's a primo.
A wet crawl space is a lurking hazard, inviting mold, rot, and structural worries. The answer is Brazier's Crawl Space Encapsulation. Our specialist tailors the solution to your exact crawl space. Our expert team cleans and upgrades your crawl space into a pristine, protected environment, and we only use April Air dehumidifiers. Reliable and robust, complete with a 5-year warranty. Take the first step to a drier, safer home. Call Brazier's or visit our website. Your peace of mind is just one call away.
Blue Coast Seafood Grill and Raw Bar in Rehoboth Beach is Delaware's premier restaurant.
Located in Rehoboth Gateway, Blue Coast features indoor and outdoor dining and serves beautiful, simple food that highlights the coastal flavors of southern Delaware. With chef-inspired daily specials, an award-winning wine list, and an extensive list of ales and cocktails, Blue Coast is the perfect place for a night out or celebrate any occasion in our private library dining space. Blue Coast Rehoboth, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner with plenty of free parking. See you soon.
Welcome to Sea Level Designs. Come visit us for an extraordinary selection of nautical gifts and decor for your home. Choose from thousands of coastal home accessories, including pillows, accent furniture, lamps, indoor-outdoor rugs, wall decor, and so much more. Whether you live by the beach or just dream of ocean breezes, we have something for everyone in every price range. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook to keep up with our constantly changing inventory. Sea Level Designs, open year-round in Bethany Beach.
It starts with our oldest family tradition, artisan bread topped with the finest hand-sliced meats and cheeses. Add in the freshest locally grown produce, but don't forget the In our house, it's not just a hoagie, it's a premium.
It is 6:41, 59 degrees in Cambridge right now. Looking good in the marina on our HSB camera. As starting to see a little bit of daylight. That sunrise getting later and later. We're in the 60s right now, low to mid 60s, a little warmer at the beaches, so very mild out the door. We're looking at a southwest breeze that will warm us up a lot today on your Halloween. Looking at clear skies, and with building high pressure and sinking air, we're looking at near record high temperatures later on. Maybe a good day for a little bit of Halloween golf. And yeah, boy, there's that excellent putt again. Probably like my 30th in a row. Scary warm out there today. Quite breezy, 81 on this Halloween on the golf course. And in case you missed it earlier, our umbrella winner is Edward Falk from Millsboro. And one of these days, our umbrella winners will be able to use their umbrellas, but no time soon.
Yesterday was a scary morning in Lewis as a roof collapsed. It was reported in the Tower Hill neighborhood. We do have aerial footage of that neighborhood. The cause and the details, it's still unknown as this is an ongoing investigation, but the Lewis Fire Department confirms 3 people were taken to the hospital on this call.
Increased coverage for detecting prostate cancer. Delaware Governor John Carney signed a new bill that will make Delaware the 8th state in the nation to enhance coverage of prostate cancer screenings for high-risk men. The bill will eliminate the cost for certain patients to get those screenings. It's estimated over 1,300 Delawareans will receive a prostate cancer diagnosis this year. African-American men and those with a first-degree relative with prostate cancer history are at a higher risk category.
As you just
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Well, now you just heard the Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series. The team beat out the New York Yankees 7-6 in Game 5 Wednesday night. And this is the Dodgers' second World Series championship in 5 seasons. Fans took to the streets in Los Angeles after the game to celebrate the big win.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
The Delaware Field Hockey State Playoffs kicked off last night. The first round of the Delaware D2 State Tournament saw a pair of local squads face off. It's the number 8 seeded Lake Forest hosting number 9 Indian River. The Spartans looking for their second victory over IR in 6 days. First quarter, Ryla McCloskey dodges IR defenders and her shot flies past the keeper. McCloskey opens the scoring and puts the Spartans ahead 1-0. Same quarter, Savannah Messick finds Lacey Hudson, but Zoe Quillen with the tackle to keep the IR keeper help with the save. But Lake keeps the pressure on. Bryn String with the flick in front, and it's Hudson there to push it against the backboard. Spartans take the 2-0 lead. Moving to the second, same score, Ashley Robbins on the move, crosses it to the net, but Quillen steps up and kicks it away. A big clear over the sideline for Indian River. But shortly after, Hudson back on the case for Lake, shoots and scores to the opposite side of the cage. Spartans up 3-0. On to the second half. Lake now up 4-0. McCloskey evading defenders and a reverse sweep to Messick, who does the rest, tipping in the Spartans' 5th tally of the game. And that would be enough in the end as Lake Forest defeats Indian River 6-0. Lake Forest moves on to the quarterfinals of the D2 State Tournament to face Newark Charter on Saturday. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
Coming up today on DSN at 5:30, it is the high school football Scoops and Scores pregame show, and that will be followed by Bayside Conference football, Kent Island taking on Queen Anne's, and then at 11, stay tuned for the final score. Over on DSN Plus on that app at 4 p.m. You can only watch it here. Stephen Decatur taking on Parkside in high school football, and at 6, it is that Kent Island Queen Anne's game.
Has it been a rough week for you? Don't forget you can cheer up with a weekly dose of good news from Coast TV. We have personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and a whole lot more. Sign up right now. It's free. Go to coasttv.com/sign up. You'll get a weekly dose of joy sent directly to your inbox on Fridays. Happy Halloween, everybody. The day is here. We have a spooky show for you. Here's what's coming up today at 4.
Well, we want to see your Halloween costumes, of course, so send us your pics, show them off, and we'll put them up on the screen for everyone to see.
That's right. And of course, even though it's a holiday, doesn't mean we are skipping out on our Spill the Tea. Today, though, we just have a spooky Halloween-themed Spill the Tea.
Yes, and if maybe you want to keep the kids having fun, but a little less sugary, we've got some games to play, of course, that'll end your Halloween night on a fun note.
All that and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life.
Spilling the tea on Halloween on Coast Life. Looking forward to that. We've got a clear start. Still pretty dark out there in our Tyndall's Casual Furniture Camp, 63 right now, and it will be one of the warmest Halloweens on record, and we are looking at more dry weather, and we have tied the dry consecutive days in Delaware. We are tied for that, and we will surpass that into tomorrow. More on that, plus a cooler weekend forecast. Your details coming up in 2 minutes.
Download the free Coast TV First Alert weather app today.
Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers, is looking for you to help stock the shelves at the Joseph House just in time for the holidays. The annual Joseph House Food Drive is Saturday, November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the parking lot of the Wicomico Civic Center. Please help by dropping off non-perishable food items for those in need. All food donations are accepted no matter your neighborhood. Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
As a math teacher, Matt Meyer knows that Delaware's tax system isn't adding up. So he has a plan to fix it. Give middle-class families a tax cut, invest in schools, and lower costs. But Mike Ramone's plan gives tax breaks to the ultra-rich, which could cut education by nearly $175 million. Matt Meyer knows these numbers don't add up. He'll make state taxes fair so families can get ahead. Vote Matt Meyer for governor.
Coastal Home Roofing is your source for all your roofing and siding needs. We do not take any down payment. You don't pay until the job is done. Protect your home even further by taking advantage of our lifetime labor warranty. Schedule a free immediate estimate with our team by visiting our website or giving us a call at 866-976-5462. Coastal Home Roofing, Delmarva's roofing and siding experts.
Weather brought to you by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, dedicated to excellence in Delaware and Maryland.
Coastal Comfort knows you can't always plan when you'll need us. That's why Coastal Comfort technicians are dedicated experts. Early mornings to late nights, cold or hot weather, day in and day out, delivering quality service when you need them. Reliable, trustworthy, always here for you. Experience the Coastal Comfort difference. Call us or visit coastalcomfort.com to schedule your appointment today. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier Factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware. Carrier, turn to the experts.
6:49 on your Thursday morning. We're going to go now see what Ocean View looks like on this Halloween morning. And I guess you could say it looks a little spooky there, Bob, but we know it's going to feel pretty good out today.
I guess only fitting for a day like today, Paige, with it being Halloween. But how unbelievably warm is it out the door right now? We're looking at temperatures into the 60s, and we've got numerous days that we were in the 80s or above normal temperatures for Halloween. 81 is what I'm forecasting today, and we've had 81 in 1946, 1950. 1950 and 2019. We had 80 in 2004. Then we had 78 for a high several years dating back to 1961. So it's not unusual to get a warm Halloween. We've had cold ones too, but this year we luck out with a warm one. And for the kiddos, they're looking at very warm conditions this evening. Temperatures in the 70s, then falling into the 60s, wickedly warm and breezy. So they can show off those costumes because it will be so mild. But the downside, of course, is the 34 consecutive days of dry weather. And that ties 34 days from back in 2001. And we will surpass that tomorrow, as tomorrow will be day 35. We have a front coming through, not expecting anything in the way of measurable rain. So it looks like we'll be in first place all alone tomorrow with that record. 60s out the door this morning, as warm as 65 in Bethany Beach, Ocean City 66, Georgetown 63. And we're looking at a southwesterly breeze that will continue to warm us up as we're looking at clear skies not only across Delmarva, but really much of the mid-Atlantic as we have a building ridge of high pressure. You can see how the clouds are going up and over the top of this ridge. So we're looking at sinking air, very warm air for your Halloween. The real active weather is across the nation's midsection. Severe weather from Texas up into the Midwest. Warm air out ahead of the front. It's winter-like cold air behind the front. And this front, unfortunately, will lose a lot of its moisture as it gets closer to us. And look at that little blue there. That's a little bit of snow across southwest Minnesota right now. We'll just see that front, but much drier as it moves through. Here's your Halloween futurecast. We're looking at temperatures warming through the 60s. By noon, 77 in Millsboro and Selbyville, 74 Fenwick Island, 2:30 as the kids are getting off the buses, excited to put on their costumes. 70s to around 80 in Long Neck, 80 in Rehoboth as well, and Lewis. And then very mild for the trick-or-treating this evening and breezy. Temperatures in the 70s, some clouds out there, and those clouds and the southwest wind keep us very mild as we go into your Friday morning. As that front comes through, we're seeing clouds, maybe a sprinkle or two. Otherwise, nothing in the way of rain. We're seeing the wind shifting to the north, getting very chilly as we head into your Saturday, and temperatures only into the 60s as we go into Saturday with breezy conditions at elevated fire danger, winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour at times. And then we're seeing shifting winds into the weekend as it will be drier and cooler, and then it warms up as we get closer to Election Day. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, lower 80s today and tomorrow, then a much cooler weekend with 60s. Clocks go back 1 hour Sunday morning, and by Election Day, mild, 78 and partly cloudy.
Bob, this morning, a Milford man and a Milford woman are facing felony charges from a burglary. This is at a house on Southeast 2nd Street, and you can see that general area on your screen that we're showing you here. Officers there found a broken window. They found two people inside, 56-year-old Eddie Roundtree and 52-year-old Yvonne Pickle. They were arrested. A knife and drug paraphernalia found at that time. Both were committed to the Department of Correction.
One man is now facing charges after a standoff in Dover Wednesday morning. Police say they arrested 36-year-old Michael Moran on Holmes Street. Here you can see there was some heavy police presence, and it's from our Coast Copter. Police do say that a victim reported Moran inside their home around 1:40 a.m. with 6 children also present. The victim said he was not supposed to be there. He allegedly pointed a gun at officers before he then barricaded himself inside. Police say just before 11 a.m. Moran finally surrendered. Thankfully, nobody there was hurt.
Got a heads up for you on this next one here. If you plan on watching the Today Show tomorrow, Friday, November 1st, we want to warn you there will be a graphic campaign ad related to abortion. It will air. Under law, TV stations are required to air ads for federally qualified candidates without censorship. Please be aware of this.
All right, time is now 6:53 this morning, and we are going to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day.
And today's Coastal Pet of the Day showing off their Halloween costume on your screen right now. As Esmeralda, she loves dressing up for the event and has a blast at Sea Witch every year. And this was submitted to us by Jean. Actually, got a different pet there.
We do have a different one in this hour.
Yeah, I was reading the wrong one, and I apologize for that.
That happens. That one was Gemma, but she's also in a Halloween costume, so it's easy to mix them up. That's a cute picture there. I bet a lot of people have, pets in costumes, so send them to us. We want to see them, and tell us all about your pet and what makes them so special.
Take a look at your screen, scan the QR code at the top there, and get your furry friend to us here at Coast TV. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Starting to see some daylight right now on the Tidal Health Cam in Salisbury. 60 for you, a very warm Halloween. In fact, probably record-breaking as we go into it later in the day with temperatures in the low 80s. Plus, we're tied for the record for consecutive dry days in Delaware. We do have a cooler weekend on the way and looking dry and mild for Election Day. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care and women's health services to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Michael Anderson of Anderson Wealth Management has the strategies you need to help plan your retirement. Catch Wise Money right here on WRDE.
Don't miss the 8th Annual Delaware Resorts 55 Plus Expo, Saturday, November 2nd from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Cape Henlopen High School. Admission is free. Explore the area's most successful health and wellness companies, realtors, retirement communities, physical therapy firms, senior services, financial services, home products and services, all designed for the 55 Plus community. Stop by for free flu shots and free health screenings provided by BB Healthcare. Some exhibitors offer expo specials and door prizes. There's something for everyone, and all ages are welcome. The Delaware Resorts 55 Plus Expo. Don't miss it.
When choosing a granite countertop, choose one for real life and beauty. No matter what life throws at them, they'll look beautiful forever. Ancient Art Stone invites you to discover the affordability of granite and upgrade your home to the beautiful works of art from Ancient Art Stone. Centrally located in Milford, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva to make your dreams a reality. Visit us and allow our devoted professionals to craft, fabricate, and install a superior finished product that will transform your home into a work of art.
See the beauty of Delmarva from a bird's eye view. Soaring over the shore, Mondays on CoastTV News at 6. Sponsored by Morse Roofing and Siding.
Capstone Homes, Sussex County's locally owned, award-winning design-build custom home builder, bringing dreams to life since 2006. Where personalization, luxury, and quality combine to give you the ultimate custom home buying experience. At Capstone, you'll meet with our architectural designer to review your blueprint and make any changes you want. Then you'll customize your home style with our certified interior designer. Connect with our team of custom home experts today at Capstone Homes.
Lighten up your week. Subscribe to the Coast TV Feel Good Friday newsletter. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com. Get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox.
We're looking at a very warm Halloween on the way. Temperatures in the 60s and then 70s, around 80 degrees, lower 80s later today, probably tying a record with southwesterly winds for the scarecast for the kiddos this evening. We're looking at 70s and then cooling into the 60s. Drive slow, be careful out there. Paul Davis, 10-day forecast, 80 on Friday. Big cool down for the weekend. Clocks go back 1 hour Sunday morning, warming up for Election Day up to 78 there, then cooling down but staying dry for the next 10 days.
All right, Bob, thank you, and thank you all for joining us on Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
And of course, we have Coast TV midday at 11, so stick around.
Have a great Thursday morning, everybody.